look at the cross choke. Most of you know this choke. We've taught it from mount position. If I was in the mount, I'd be looking to take the slack out of Declan's knee. The first grip's everything. Getting connection with that first hand. Because you'll never get the same connection with the second hand. So we need to make the connection and fill the space with that first grip. Anytime I'm in, we're here. Again, different ways of getting it. I can come in, palm up on the first grip. I can come palm down on my second grip, or we can come up with a double palm up grip. Obviously from here, as I start to make the connection, we know Declan can bridge. So rather than me posting, if my second hand goes on top, I'll be putting my head on the mat on the side of the second arm choke. Does that make sense? So in other words, if this arm was over the top, my head would be on this side. So when Declan starts to bridge from there, I have connection and I have base. But if I was coming with the underhand grip, my head would be going on this side. Good basic concept to be thinking about. The problem obviously with the knee on belly position is there's no neck exposure, and even if you do manage to get under the lapel, and I get under here and I make that first grip, it's going to be very hard to make the second grip, and he's already bridging and using his open escape. So just like when we done the Ezekiel, we're using the knee on belly position to create neck exposure by causing discomfort with the knee on belly position. So I made my grips, I come up into my knee on belly position. Again, I'm not going to start attacking the neck until I get Declan's arms pushing on my knee. Wouldn't make sense to attack the neck if his hands is up here, and it's easy to get them at the knee. I just start turning my knee towards the sternum and driving in to get that discomfort. If he's not pushing on my knee when I give him discomfort, you probably shouldn't be on the mat with him because he's just a monster. So, but most people will start to push. From here, I'm opening up the lapel with that initial grip that I had, and it's a race. I have 2 seconds to get my hand in first before Declan's hands come in. And again, so you really want to be being mean with that knee. Open the collar, and it's a thumb in grip straight in to the back of the collar. Again, if you've noticed, I'm coming in with a bent wrist. I'm not just charging in with a straight arm. I want my forearm making a curve so it follows the connection of his neck, and then I make the grip just with a label on the back of his collar is. Now I've got a good strong grip. Okay, so we're going to show you 3 variations of this choke. The first one's obviously the best, but it's the one you'll probably never get because he'll be defending with this hand. But let's just pretend he's not, and we're just going to go over the technique of the choke, the cross choke. So from that position, that is a palm up grip. The second grip will be palm down, and my thumb just comes inside the collar. I'm going to slide it down as if I'm nearly trying to touch my hands. You can't see with Declan's head, so you just pull that in until I'm nearly touching hands. And now from here, we're just bringing our elbow across. So it's not about pulling on the collars, right? People that don't have the knowledge of the choke, they're pulling on the collars. Anytime you pull on the collars, the space between my wrists gets bigger. And then if you're pulling your elbows out and you're physically trying to choke someone this way, you're just muscling the move. It's discomfort. Think about this. I connect my wrists, I curl my wrists together, and I'm pulling back my elbows to my hips, as if I'm pulling them back to my body. Everything is connected and it's tight. So option 1, we're here. Okay. I bring my head towards the choke. Another detail we want to be thinking about is before I initiate the choke, I'm going to bring Declan's head towards me. That just gives me another little bit of connection. So I'm not choking him with his head, the back of his head on the mat. I'm physically lifting his head up, connecting my elbows to my body, and my head is going to be going beside his left ear, nearly towards the secondary hand that's making that choke. So I'm in. If I feel I'm unstable from here, it's no problem. I use the knee on belly position to get neck exposure, to get the connection with the cross choke. You can switch to another position. So once we're in that knee on belly position and I feel maybe I don't have the connection, maybe Declan has got his hands just into the choke and he's trying to defend here and he's created a little bit of non-connection, I can now windshield wiper my foot and come up into the mounted position. And now we know, just make grips in my hands, bro. I can put my head on the mat. I can put a lot more pressure. Again, I'll just tuck my feet and now I can switch to the mounted position. But we use the knee on belly position, obviously, to get neck exposure. Again, it's unlikely you're going to get that first grip because he will be defending with this hand. So once I am in my knee on belly position, I will create discomfort, open the collar. I have 2 seconds to get that first grip in. I'll use that hand, even if he's defending from there, I've got my first grip. And once I make that grip on the collar, it's labeled, he can be pulling all day on this arm. It's not coming out. That's the important grip. I've got connection with that grip. Now from here, he'll be defending from here. So it's unlikely that he's going to let me get this thumb into the collar, if that makes sense, because basically he's got a free hand. So we want to be thinking about, if I can't get the thumb on the collar, any kind of material on that shoulder, and there'll always be like a clump of material here. I'm just making a grip over the top of his shoulder. My thumb's not inside, and I'll grab the material from here. But a little thing we want to be thinking about is we're going to use our chin to kind of nullify this defensive hand. So when I start to make this grip, see the way Declan's not letting me, he's monitoring that hand. I'm going to bring my chin over the top of that, and then I smear it back and I kind of glue it. Pull it out now, bro, and then make that go. Okay? Once I'm here, it's the same stuff. Okay? I'm starting to bring my head towards his ear. I'm curling my wrists and bringing my elbows back to my body. If I feel I haven't got it, I can transition to the mounted position, put my head on the mat, and we're back into the same position. The third variation, I'll just show it to you anyway. I'm not a big fan of it. It's just double palm up. So from here, when I move into the knee on belly position, and I've got his hands pushing on my knee, I will pull open the collar. Notice that's a palm up grip. Okay, thumb on the outside. We can come in this way with the same mirroring grip. Okay, and again, you can curl your wrists and you can bring your elbows back. And again, it's as tight as the first one. The problem is that's a very hard grip to get. So it just depends on the circumstances. Out of the three, I think the second one is probably the one that you're going to be hitting the most, especially when you start to use your chin to defend or kind of nullify this by pinning it to his body. So that's the one we're going to work on. So from our knee on belly position, or from side control, I'm going to make my grip. So this is from the attacking knee on belly position. We'll look at the hybrid one on the next move. It's slightly different. Think about the finishing mechanics. I'm going to move up into the knee on belly position. My shoelaces are tight till Declan's right hip. I'm staying connected. I'm sitting on him. I'm not just all the way to my knee, because from there I'm quite unstable. If Declan moves from there, you see the way I'm moving with him. But if I just kind of sit on him, move now, bro, that should be effortless. And you'll only get good at play at this, you know, staying on knee on belly if you're playing it. If you're not playing it, you just won't develop that sensitivity. And then when I turn my knee and I feel him pushing on that knee, we're going to open up that collar, and you've got 2 seconds to make that first grip. Realistically, as I'm here, Declan's already grabbing, so I'm pulling and I'm forcing, and once I make that, sit up 1 second, bro. Once I make that grip, see the way just where the circle of his gi is there? He's not getting that back. He can pull all day on that arm because I've made a connection to the back of his collar. He can pull on that arm and pull it away from the body, it doesn't matter. If he's pulling it away from the body, that's good, because now this hand's not doing anything. So if he's pushing this away, I'm going for that first variation. But more than likely, he's going to pull with one hand, and he's not going to let me make that secondary grip. Does that make sense? So think about this. When we're here and we're trying to find something, I'm going to bring my chin over and kind of put weight on it. So now I'm going to make that grip on the material. I'm going to start curling my wrists and bringing my elbows back to my body. And we can transition to mount, just whatever you're comfortable in. If you feel you just don't have the profile and the base to finish from the knee and belly position, you can go straight into the mounted position. Let's drill that, guys.